And we are live. What is going on, LBHT crew? What is going on, Ravens flock? What's going on, Steelers country? Oh, you know what, B? You were right again. You said the game wouldn't be particularly close, and it wasn't. Look, the Steelers fought back in the second half.
They played one good quarter.
One good quarter, yeah.
They went off in the third quarter. And that almost had 200 yards in the third quarter.
John Harbaugh almost went John Harbaugh again. This game could have been a lot. The margin of victory could have been a lot wider if they go for it on fourth down right there at midfield. I don't see any reason to not go for it right there. Right?
Yeah, they definitely should have gone for it. But I think that most coaches are conservative by nature, and he let that get the best of them. And I think he probably felt like the game was well in hand at that point. But it's four quarters. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Like, you can't leave teams hanging around, especially when your defense is still suspect. They've played better recently, but it's not like they've been great all season. And he's gonna find or try to find George Pickens, and you're gonna have trouble. So you shouldn't be taking your foot off the gas at any point, especially in a playoff game, and especially in a game where they're not able to stop your run attack.
George Pickens is an amazing wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That one catch, he just leaped up in the air, caught it, toe tapped inbounds. I hope y'all appreciate what a top tier receiver looks like. All right, like they can do things like that you can't coach. You can't coach that. He's just great. Yeah. But look, this is about the Ravens, okay? Like that first half pretty much took the fight out of them. Yeah. Me and B, we kind of discussed that a little bit on Wednesday, and we discussed it offline. The Ravens get off to a early start, and the Steelers offense doesn't. They're gonna fold, right? But look, credit to Mike Tomlin, credit to Russell Wilson for not folding in that second half. They came back out and did what they needed to do in the first half. But the problem is they took too long to score. The defense is already gassed, right? they weren't going to hold the Ravens from scoring anymore in that second half, right? And that's what they needed to do to get back in the game. And they're just too tired.
Yeah, Spooky J says, we were up 3 touchdowns. We didn't need it. If we went forward and didn't get it, y'all would be trashing Harbaugh for that too. Come on, man. I hate Harbs too, but we got to be fair here. No, we would not be trashing Harbaugh for going forward on fourth down in midfield in order to try to put a playoff game away. And you say you didn't need it now, but it wasn't looking like that in the third quarter, was it? When they put up 200 yards and we're cutting into the deficit, it looked like you needed it then, right?
And Spooky J, you watched us long enough to know that we don't like conservative play, right? Even when you're up, like you can do that in the fourth quarter, right? But the start of the second half, like we've given up huge leads in the fourth quarter before, but it's midfield. You need a yard to go. You've been killing them on the ground all game. You go for it. And if you don't get it there, fine. You let your defense go out there and play. Your defense is fresh. Now, granted, the defense, they had 2 really bad drives. They had 2 really bad drives. Outside of that, they got together. But no, the way the game is going, like Coach says, foot on necks. And the game isn't over at the start of the third quarter, right? It's 21-0, but you still have a whole half to play. So you have to go out there and finish it. If we get that first down there, take some more time off the clock, even get a field goal at that point, they're done. Mm-hmm. Like me and B were discussing, they probably put in Justin Fields at that point, right? Yeah. Because you have too big of a hole. Russell Wilson only gave you 44 yards in the first half. You need something going, right? And running is pretty much off the table at that point. You have to pass.
Well, they took it off, like all teams. They took it off the table very early. They only ran the ball, I think it was 11 times tonight total, including Russell Wilson. Thank you to Rave Kingdom for the super chat. He said, "Let's go. We made it." I mean, you made it to the second round.
Salute. I'm
I talked to Jose about this, over the last couple of days as well. With the whole Josh Allen versus Lamar thing, and one of the big talking points being, oh well, Josh Allen has 5 playoff wins to Lamar's 2, 3 now. But the reality is they've both been to the conference championship once, which means they both have 1 win in the second round. Josh Allen had more wins because Josh Allen is a first round merchant, right? He can't get a bye. They had to play the first round every year, right. Which is where that gap comes from. So this is fine. It was a solid performance from Lamar. It was a great performance from Derrick Henry. The defense played 3 good quarters. I see Spooky J saying shout out to the receivers for no big drops, but they only had 57 yards total. So no slander, but no shout out for that either. Rashad Bateman had the nice touchdown catch early on a great throw from Lamar, but they clearly miss Zay. They need Zay back next week.
They do, but the game plan worked early on. They executed well, and when the ground game is going, you can't stop it. You don't need a lot from the passing game, right? I think they ran twice as many times as they passed the ball. So, they were in good shape. Hold on, let me turn my notification.
Well, even more. They had 50 carries total and 21 pass attempts.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, they had the perfect game plan. It's funny, right? Because early in his career, you expect the read option from Lamar Jackson. But having the years that he's been having and having the year that he's having this year, passing the ball, you just weren't expecting that, right? Like they weren't expecting that. I mean, nobody expected him to run the ball, 13, 14 times? How many times he ran the ball? Nobody was expecting that.
Yeah. Aopon says, what are we going to do about the Stevens problem on big plays? I mean, look, it's been a problem, but it's been a problem for the entire secondary. I mean, Stevens got beat tonight. Tre'Davious White got beat tonight.
I'm about to say,
Nate Wiggins got beat tonight.
I thought Tre'Davious White was the answer. Didn't y'all say Tre'Davious White? We put him in. We put him in. He got burnt.
It's a whole secondary problem. So I don't know.
Yeah.
They've looked much better recently. This was concerning, but it was 1 quarter. You want to blow it out of proportion. It was one really bad quarter, but they are going to be playing much better quarterbacks moving forward than they saw tonight.
They are, but I don't think we'll play too many better receivers than Pickens, though.
Yeah, but the quarterback is the more important part of that equation there. Thank you, Josh, for the $4.99 super chat. He said Henry set that tone with the stiff arm on Minka. I think we let those receivers behind the D a couple times, though. Bateman truthers, I stand within you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay. So, yes. The Minka Fitzpatrick stiff arm.
What's up, Ravens?
What's up, Ravens? Yes, 3 more wins to go. Salute. But the other stiff arm that nobody really picked up on, I picked up on it when Derrick Henry ran for a second touchdown. And Patrick Queen was right there, and he said, "Nah, I don't think I want that."
I think Patrick Queen patted him on the back on the way by.
No, Derrick Henry Patrick. He patted.
It might have gone both ways. But when I watched the replay, it looked like Pat was like, "Yeah, you go ahead, man."
Yeah, Derrick Queen patted him on the shoulder and ran by. I'm like, I understand. Look, Derrick Queen wasn't out of position. It wasn't a bad angle. His legs to stop moving. Okay, in
fact, he retreated a bit.
Yeah,
he retreated a little bit. He was like, "Listen, from this angle, if I hit Derrick Henry, what's going to happen besides me hitting the ground? He's not going to stop running, and then I'm going to be a meme.
Yeah, what's the point? Right. And now nobody's really talking about it. Steelers fans will talk about it. They'll go back and look at the tape and say he quit, but nobody else is really going to talk about it, right? Not like they're going to talk about Minka Fitzpatrick. So, somebody asked, "Are we going to beat the Bills? Are the Bills going to beat the Broncos?" Because all I'm hearing from the Bills Mafia, Josh Allen truthers, is that they don't have anybody other than Josh Allen, right? The team has, Lamar. He has 9 Pro Bowlers on the team. What does Josh Allen have? He has nobody. He has nobody. He has nothing. Well, if he has nothing, then these games should be a struggle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to wait and see if they beat the Broncos. According to them, not me.
Yeah.
I think they have an excellent team, but according to them, it's a little shaky. I don't know if they'll beat the Broncos. We got to see who we play.
Yeah, I think they'll beat the Broncos, and it'll be a good game with Baltimore. But I expect Baltimore to beat Buffalo in that second round. What we really need to talk about, and we're just going to take a slight detour here, is why can't Justin Herbert play in the playoffs? Justin Herbert had more interceptions in the playoff game today than he did in the entire regular season. He had 3 interceptions all 17 games, and he had 4 today, including a pick 6.
Now, at least 2 of them were not his fault.
That's okay.
I would even say 3 because 1, they say he threw it too high, but it literally went between the guy's hands.
Yeah, the guy that guy was at max vert. It was too high.
But he close your hands.
It was a difficult catch, but the pass was too high. That's not debatable. It was way too high.
He still got to catch it, or at least put hands on it. At least put hands on it.
It was a very high pass. I mean, he did put hands. It was high and hard because he did put hands on it, and it took nothing off of it. It went straight to its intended target, whoever that gentleman is for the Texans. But the point is now that Justin Herbert has a 4 interception game, the first 4 interception game for the Chargers since Stan Humphries of Tecmo Super Bowl fame.
And don't know who that is.
I know, that's why I said Tecmo Super Bowl. And he also has the biggest choke job in the history of the playoffs when they lost to Jacksonville after being up, I believe it was 28. I can't
People don't really remember that.
So yeah, Justin Herbert is a fraud, much like Jalen Hurts. But
wow, he's a fraud now. He's a fraud
until further notice. I mean, look, 4 interceptions today, biggest choke job in the history of the playoffs. The last time he got there. I mean, what else are we going to call it?
I don't call him a fraud. He's just not on the same level as Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow,
Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence,
Pat Mahomes.
Guys who win games.
He's better than Baker.
Is he? Because Baker has a playoff win.
I didn't see. I don't see Mike Evans on that team. B.
You saw Ladd McConkey with 197 yards.
I like Ladd. But
Ladd should very obviously been a Panther. But like I said, that was just a small detour. I'm sorry. I just wanted to point that out since the talk is always about how Lamar doesn't play well in the playoffs, and Lamar played very well. So I just wanted to put that out there and see if anybody had an answer as to why Justin Herbert is garbage in the playoffs. But we're gonna segue back to the victors, as it were. Yeah. The Baltimore Ravens, who came away with a very impressive 3-quarter victory tonight. Not 4 quarters, but the 3.
Yeah.
And we're going to go ahead and bring in a special guest to give their opinion on that as well.
What is going on, Adrian?
And
you muted
himself.
Oh man, I muted myself. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Man, it was a great game, fellas, man. I mean, you want to see the team put together 4 quarters. We put together, like you said, 2.5, 3 quarters. But we got the job done, 28-14. On to next round. I keep hearing people talking about, Denver going to upset Buffalo. I'm hoping that we got to go to Buffalo and lay the smackdown on Josh Allen. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I want to see how they play this game. I expect them to beat the Broncos, but we'll see. I want to see how they play.
It's going to be a tough game. Bo Nix has been playing very well. Sean Payton, unfortunately, can still coach. I hate Sean Payton, but I think the Bills still get that win at home. I do apologize. I want to go back to the other game really quickly for one more thing. I did forget to mention those unbelievable former Raven running backs. You all defended to me for years, especially Gus Edwards, talking about how incredible he was. They went for 16 carries, 48 yards today. But back to the Ravens.
Yeah, it's funny when you have a running back that you believe in, how many more carries you can get the ball, But look, Justin Herbert does not suck. Justin Herbert is getting the Lamar Jackson treatment. He's just not Lamar Jackson. All right. He got the G-roll offense. He got some of Lamar's weapons. He's got a rookie wide receiver, right? Who we like, but he's a rookie, and you saw what he could do in the first round.
Yardage back in history. That's what we said about Gus. Yeah. But seriously, I will give Justin Herbert credit for one thing. Like you said, at least two of those interceptions were not his fault at all. No. But I'll give him one thing that a lot of quarterbacks don't understand. He knows that he has one wide receiver. And guess what he did? He targeted Ladd McConkey 14 times. Ladd caught 9 for 197 yards and a touchdown. Nobody else got more than 5 targets, and that 5 targets was a tight end. He knows who can and cannot catch on his team, and he distributed the ball accordingly. Actually, Quentin Johnson also got 5 targets. He didn't catch a goddamn one of them.
Hey, shout out to Pay the Bills.
Oh, sorry.
I put shout out to Pay the Bills for the super chat there. Appreciate it. It says G-Roll holding the ball key tight.
Thank you, Pay the Bills.
Yeah, John Stone is horrendous, man. Like I call him John Stone because he got hands of stone. You know what I mean? Like, shout out my cousin John. He said that earlier during the game. But like, you could target him 20 times and he's still going to have 0 catches. Like,
unless he's playing J.C. Horn,
he's a first round bust. And you can't. It's hard to recover from drafting a wide receiver in the first round and he can't get it done. I think back to like Travis Taylor and Rashard Perry, man. Like, he's in a class with those former Ravens right now to me.
Yeah. What's going on, Jerry? Salute to Jerry Green from the Southern Ballers Show. Yes, indeed. Good win. Very good win. A very satisfying win for a first round matchup, right? And again, when we talk about Lamar, the goalpost always shifts, right? They're not going to give, when I say they, like mainstream media and Lamar, the detractors, quote unquote, aren't going to give him his due because, we've seen this before. Yeah, he's gotten out the first round, but what's he going to do in the next round? What's he going to do in the AFC Championship game? Like, it's always going to, get shifted. But I'm not going to look past this game, right? Because the season was the Steelers own the Ravens. They own Lamar Jackson, right? Even though they won big in the last game. Oh, well, it's just one game. He can't do it again. And they dominated this game. Mm-hmm. They didn't know what to do with them. Like when he ran that read option, 3 or 4 times in a row. That last time he ran it, they didn't even try to tackle him on one of the plays where he ran out of bounds to get the first down. They just let him get it because they were tired.
Yeah.
Right? Like TJ Watt, there was a drive. TJ Watt had his hands on his hips. I said, "Yep, they're done. This is like second quarter." He comes off the field, and then Cam Hayward, starts trotting off the field, and then they score a touchdown. They pan over to Cam Hayward. He's on one knee, huffing and puffing, looking for some oxygen, and I'm like, it's over. They're cooked. They're not doing anything in the second half.
Well, you want to know what a defense that doesn't want any more of what you're giving them looks like? Elandon Roberts, 14 tackles. Pat Queen, 10 tackles. Cam Hayward, 10 tackles. Minka Fitzpatrick, 9 tackles. They said, stop it. Stop handing the ball to Derrick Henry. Stop letting Lamar run the ball. We've had enough. Yeah. But I do want to say, shout out to Odafe Owe, who went out there and got himself a sack, tackle for loss, and 3 QB hits on Russ. He had a very nice game tonight. Matt Abike went out and got a couple sacks. I guess he figured it was time to earn that check. But everybody played pretty well tonight, outside of a couple of unfortunate mishaps in the secondary.
Oh, look, it's a Josh Allen standing in here. Just congrats on Lamar's first good playoff game in 7 years.
Ooh,
Okay.
and somebody who doesn't pay attention either.
Yeah.
You see,
That's
forgot
cool.
beating Houston last year.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, tomorrow, congrats on your first round merchant getting out of the first round again. We'll see if he's able to do anything else since he hasn't been for the entirety of his career. That includes winning team awards or personal ones.
And he won't win this year either. Spoiler alert. Fan Sideboard, what's going on? Says TJ Watt bit on the read option every single time. Not once did he read for Lamar on the pull. He wasted so much energy, and by the time they could adjust, it was too late. Because they haven't ran the read option that much this year, right? Like they haven't. In Henry got off to such a hot start, right? He already posterized Minkah Fitzpatrick, right? That already happened. It's like, yeah, man, I can't let this man get off to a hot start. Like we already know he's gonna be a problem in the second half because he always is. But we can't let him get off to a hot start early or we're done. So I'm more worried about Derrick Henry because Lamar hasn't been running that much. But now Lamar's running a lot now. And it's just like, well, what do we do? Right? Because he's doing the read option. He could run or he could pass. And he's the best passer or one of the best passers in the league.
No, you're right. The best.
Yeah, he's the best passer in the league. Like, what am I supposed to do? Right? I got to leave him to somebody else, but I have to stop Derrick Henry because nobody else is going to hit Derrick Henry the way TJ Watt is. Right? Like, TJ Watt is one of the few players that can get there in the backfield and stop him before he gets going. So that's his focus, not Lamar Jackson. He let somebody else worry about Lamar.
Well, and this is what I figured it would be. That just as I was saying, the announcer said TJ was coached to go after Henry on the read option no matter what. Of course. Seems kind of dumb to me, but what do I know? I mean, yes and no. Like, you know, if you say, hey, you go and tackle TJ, let the rest, or Derrick, let the rest of us worry about Lamar, and you know, in theory at least, I guess you got both options covered. But then he hurt his elbow and decided he didn't want to play no more.
Got another super chat. Appreciate you, Brandon. Brandon Humble for $5 says the Ravens broke the Steelers' will. Yes, this game, good win. Buffalo next. We shut up the Steelers fans and going to shut up the Bills fans. Yeah, I think we beat the Bills. You know, I think the Bills win tomorrow, and then we go on to beat the Bills. But the Bills, I think, will have a tougher time. I think. You don't know until you see these games played. But the Broncos are a tough team. And the Bills fans by their own admission, you know, they'll tell you that they're not that great of a team. That's all I hear. What's up, Darren?
He says January football boys. Sorry, B. Last I checked, Carolina won at Atlanta in overtime, 44-38 on January 5th, sir.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. What's up now?
Hey, shout out to Josh.
Thank you, Josh. To be fair, Allen had Kansas City, except that crazy 13-second. It's not realistic to beat Kansas City in the last minute. They're too good and get all the breaks. Let them hang around and they won't blink. Sure, no. That's absolutely true. But we don't, you know, when we're talking about Lamar and his playoff failures, we don't get any kind of nuance. So neither does Josh.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, why is it that Lamar chokes in the playoffs when nobody under 30 years old at the QB position has a Super Bowl sans Patrick Mahomes? Like, you can't just single him out when there are other great young quarterbacks in the league like Josh Allen. I ain't even going to put Justin Herbert in that class right now. Your boy Jalen Hurts, your fraudulent, friend in Philly. Another one that hasn't won yet. Joe Burrow. Oh, he went to the Super Bowl. Lamar's not going to get that nuance. If Lamar goes to the Super Bowl and doesn't win, it'll be he still doesn't have a Super Bowl. I don't care if he has 3 MVPs. So why does the goalpost only seem to shift for Lamar and nobody else?
Yeah. No, that's an excellent point. And it's because, the media loves talking about Lamar Jackson, right? Lamar Jackson gets you clicks. Mm-hmm. Okay. Even through this whole MVP race, right? You'll be hard pressed, and I know because I looked before we did our Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen video. You'll be hard pressed to find any real material just highlighting Josh Allen. it's always Josh Allen tied to Lamar Jackson, which, you know, I mean, if you're a Bills fan, that would rub me the wrong way because Josh Allen is an excellent player. Like, don't think we're trying to downplay him. He's an excellent player, but nobody really cares outside of Bills fans about Josh Allen, really. You know what I mean? So there, he is mentioned in connection with Lamar Jackson, not him on his own. So, Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl. Brodny would slap him right now if he was here. So going to the Super Bowl doesn't make you legit. Look, this I don't know. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I don't think he's a fraud.
I wouldn't slap him. I don't have anything against him personally. Just he's not particularly good at football.
He's a good football player.
I mean, he didn't win at the end of the day. Like, you know, if you don't win, you can't say, "Oh, they got there." Like, a Buffalo fan was talking to me the other day, and they brought up the Bills' 4 straight Super Bowl losses. They're 4 straight Super Bowl losses. You don't have any rings. You don't have a Lombardi. You gotta win it. In Baltimore, the standard is the standard. We have to win the Super Bowl. We're not taking any consolation prizes. We don't care about AFC Championship game. We don't even care about just making it there. The real Ravens fans know that it's Super Bowl or bust every single season, especially when you have Lamar Jackson under center.
Yeah. Shout out to Danny and listen to Danny, y'all. 4 super chats, green or above. 5 in total. 5 more to go. Also hit up the Cash App, $ LBHTShow. That is absolutely correct. Also, there's a pin link in the chat box. That's another way you can donate. You get if you do the Cash App or you do the pin link, you get an animation. Microphone Man will dance on the screen for you real quick. All right, and we'll read your comment on air. But look, we set a goal. And if you reach that goal, you get the biggest of thank yous from us, okay? You'll get that anyway. Don't worry about that, all right? Because we appreciate each and every one of y'all. And thanks for hanging out with us. There's 113 people in here, all right? Hit that like button. If you're brand new in here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we got a lot more content. And look at, man, shout out to Josh Hoffman, man. Josh is holding it down for y'all, all right? Another super chat says, we give Lamar the nuance. He's better than Allen with or without nuance. Harbaugh doesn't get nuance. Facts. That's what it means to be in charge. Yeah.
I'm gonna call his last 7 years of employment nuance, if that's okay with you. That's just the way I'm gonna roll. You do you. I'm gonna say that's more than enough nuance for Jonathan.
But
Appreciate it, Josh. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. But this is a great win. You know, you play your rival 3 times, you know, in a year. It's tough, right? But to go out there and have a great game plan, and yes, I understand the Steelers came stumbling into the playoffs, but it's still your rival, right? And you know they beat us earlier in the season. Mike Tomlin typically has John Harbaugh's number. There's a little uncertainty there, you know, but kudos to this team for performing well. And man, Lamar and Derrick Henry are playing at another level, man. And when you have your 2 best players playing at that level, it elevates everybody else, you know?
Yeah.
So,
how about this stat, Jose? 50 rushing attempts, 299 yards, and it would have been 300 had it not been for the kneel down at the end of the game. So somebody said this the last time we were live. They said certain games the Ravens aren't able to run the football. When are they unable to run the football? 50 rushes, that's 6 yards a carry when you talk about 299 yards, or 5.999 with the little accent mark over the top. But either way, anytime we run the ball consistently, and I'm talking about 30 plus carries, we win the game. The formula is pretty simple for the Ravens. And a lot of people were saying that should take away from Lamar because how is the MVP dependent on the running game so much? Well, he is a huge part of the running game. You have to defend the Ravens different because at any time Lamar can pull that thing out of Derrick Henry's chest and take off down the sideline. And we saw it time and time again, even before we had Derrick Henry At the running back position. So my thing is, the MVP award doesn't matter to me. I believe Lamar is the best player in the league. I believe he should be the MVP. But we want the Super Bowl MVP. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't care how many times ad nauseum. We want to go beat Buffalo or Houston, no matter who it is next week. We want to go into Kansas City and beat them because we're expecting them to get there most likely. And then whoever comes out of the NFC, it could be Philly, it could be Detroit. I don't really see it being anybody else other than them two teams. And
So would it be Houston if Buffalo were to lose to Denver? We would play Houston. Is that how it would work?
yes, we'll
Yeah,
play.
you would host Houston. But you're absolutely right about Lamar being a big part of the run game. But it's not even worth making that argument because up until the Great White Hope in Buffalo came along, nobody discredited MVP quarterbacks for having talent on the rest of the team. You have to have talent on the team. You're not getting the MVP award. You're not getting MVP consideration without being one of the best teams in the league. And it's just this new group of fans who desperately want Josh to be included in that top tier quarterback group. It's Lamar and Pat, by the way. Josh ain't in there, but they desperately want him to be. And so now it's all these new arguments they're trying to come up with. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter that he leads the league in turnovers. Well, he's doing more with less, so he should get it over a guy who's making history at the quarterback position. No man, like he played great. He had a great season. Focus on your little playoff run. Focus on trying to remove that O from the Super Bowl column. He doesn't deserve the MVP. It's not a pity award.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he deserves the MVP. I don't think he's going to get the MVP. But he does have a chance to prove that he is in that conversation by going out there and doing something in this playoffs, right? Like, if he were to have won the MVP, most Ravens fans are like, yeah, okay, whatever. Lamar needs to get the Super Bowl MVP, right? That's what we're thinking. Like Adrian said, that needs to be the narrative for Josh Allen, right? So whether he gets the league MVP or not, what are you going to do in the playoffs? You have a chance to avenge your loss to us if you beat Denver, and you get a chance to avenge your loss from last year to the Chiefs, right? You have a chance to get there. Like you beat them early in the year, right? So go out there and prove that you are that guy. This is your opportunity to do it. I don't think it's going to happen, but you have a chance.
All right. And so the narrative is finally shifting around Tomlin. What's your guys' take? I think that the Steelers are a team that have one of the best coaches in the NFL, one of the best coaches in NFL history in Mike Tomlin. And they had a great quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger, right? And they won a Super Bowl. They went to the playoffs a lot and all that, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares about Steelers winning history. But now they don't have a great quarterback. The last couple of years of Ben Roethlisberger, he wasn't that guy anymore. They tried to replace him with Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett and Duck Hodges, and now they're trying to replace him with Russ. And they're lacking the talent at that position. It's the most important position in the league. It's the most impactful position in the league, and they just don't have the guy there. Russ can do it in spurts. He had a great 7-8 games this season, and he started to fall off. He played great in one quarter tonight. He wasn't very good in the other three. They just don't have the guy there. And because they keep winning, having winning seasons every season, it's difficult for them to be in position to draft the next guy. That's why they went out and they signed Russ and they traded for Justin Fields. They're throwing stuff against the wall, hoping something sticks at this point. Because, it's either that or just get lucky on a later round quarterback.
Yeah, it is tough when you're doing the thing that a lot of fans say that they want, right? You shouldn't tank, and because tank doesn't guarantee anything, and I don't like tanking. You need to go out there and compete. Well, that's what Tomlin's been doing, for 15 plus years, is competing and not losing, and you guys don't like how that looks. Right? You don't like that because he's lost 6 straight playoff games because the best quarterback he's had in that whole stretch is Russell Wilson, a washed up Russell Wilson,
who's been kicked off of 2 teams in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Josh, for the super chat. I'm going for MVP of the super chat goal.
Yes,
Someone come at me. Come on, this is a happy postgame. Hopefully next week will be even better. Thank you very much. Man.
Thank you, Josh. Josh is making y'all look bad. Okay, this is the real. We gonna start calling you the real Josh. Okay, not that fraud in Buffalo. This is the real Josh. Okay.
Yeah, Tomlin is one of the greatest coaches that I've seen in my lifetime. This more with less conversation that has been centering around Josh Allen recently. That should be applied to Mike Tomlin, because if you look at that team, is that a roster that you think should be in an AFC Championship game, a Super Bowl, or even in a divisional round? Should they even be in a wild card round? The defense is, every year they spend the money on the defensive side. You got Minka Fitzpatrick, you got TJ Watt, you got Cam Hayward. Well, you had him because it looks like he might be done after this game. But my whole thing is, you got to have a whole team to win in the playoffs. The teams that win have great quarterbacks. They have an offense. They're balanced. The Pittsburgh Steelers haven't scored more than 17 points in 5 or 6 weeks. How are you going to win in January with a stat like that?
Well, true. Money making Mitch, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you. Lamar with Henry is like Steph with Clay. Yeah, it is. And to your point, Adrian, you look around and the AFC has Patrick Mahomes. They've got Lamar Jackson. They've got Joe Burrow. They've got Josh Allen. Why would you expect Russ to beat any of those guys? Why is that? Why would that be the plan? I understand, like, in the situation that they were in, which is we don't have a quarterback. We're not picking very high. We don't even have a ton of money. They did well, for the situation that they were in, getting Russ and getting Justin Fields. They got 6 good weeks out of Justin Fields before they benched him, and Russ has played, pretty well for the rest of the season. But they're not anywhere near the caliber of the top quarterbacks in the AFC. Like, it's not close. Those guys I named, they're probably the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL, period. And they're all in your conference, in your way. And then the 5th guy is CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Right?
And 2 in his division.
Yeah. So after you get by those 4 top guys, it's CJ Stroud, Tua, Justin Herbert to an extent, Trevor Lawrence. Like, your quarterback's not better than pretty much any of these guys. So you shouldn't really have the expectation that you're going to go to the playoffs and win because you have an old TJ Watt and an old Cam Hayward. Like, they can't carry you like that.
Well, but again, you had the media to blame for that. You got people like Stephen A, out there telling you that the Steelers are better than they actually are. They own Lamar Jackson. They own the Ravens. They're going to win the AFC North. And look, they had it in their hands. I mean, it was theirs to lose, and they lost it. They completely fell apart. But when they started their slide, the media just got quiet. The Ravens can have a bad game, and everybody's going to talk about that. And it's going to be on Lamar whether he played poorly or not. Anybody else, even though Steelers are one of the more popular teams, the Cowboys are one of the more popular teams. The Cowboys will get talked about. They'll get dogged out. But other than them, other teams, if they start to slide and you're not following that team, you're not going to really pay attention to it, right? They'll get hyped up if they go on a run. But if they start to go on a downslide, the media just gets a little quiet about it. And that's what happened with the Steelers over these last few weeks. They kind of just, they lost 4 in a row. Anyway, moving on, right? So you get to this game and they get blown out, and it's just like, well, what happened? What happened was they've been bad for weeks now.
It's absolutely true, right? And I'll give you an example. Like when Lamar was hurt in Baltimore and Tyler Huntley came in and wasn't winning games, people were like, "Yo, this dude might be better than Lamar. Let's trade Lamar and keep." Oh my goodness, who is this? Press star 410. Thank you very much for the super chat. Tomlin is unappreciated.
Salute,
if only
salute.
he had Lamar. Well, I don't think we want to send Lamar to Pittsburgh, but point taken. But when fans got to look at Tyler Huntley going out there, turning the ball over once a game and not winning, they were like, man, this guy's better than Lamar. Lamar's a fraud. Let's get rid of Lamar. Tyler Huntley for president and all this stuff. When Joe Burrow missed about half the season and they had to go to Browning and they finished 9-8, and then Joe Burrow came back and they went 9-8, we don't hear anything about that. Right? I mean, now granted, Browning didn't play the entire season, but I mean, you went 9-8.
No. We hear that Joe Burrow should be in the MVP conversation because look at his stats, look at his numbers. Well, he didn't even make the playoffs, man. Like,
Right.
what are we talking about? This is not Major League Baseball. A prerequisite. I know it's not a written rule, but it's an unwritten rule. You got to make the playoffs if you're going to be in the MVP conversation. Burrow's a great player, but he didn't get it done when it mattered. Certain games he needed 45 points and he put up 42. But hey, you got T. Higgins and you got Jamar Chase and you got an offense that can put up 40 plus points on any given Sunday. You got to get it done, man.
Yep. All right. Yep. Dandy says it right here. 9 total super chats. 1 more to go to reach our goal. Now it says 6 in there. That's because I didn't get the setting right. It's for the teal ones, teal or higher. It's just $5. But we count every super chat. All right. So 1 more to get the biggest thank you you've ever seen. All right. I think you or close to it. Yes. So complete beatdown, and I love it. Anytime we beat the Steelers, I love it. No excuses. Okay. Good win. And the Steelers were the 6th ranked, I want to say, against the run. They're a really good run defense. And we just ran all over them. So it was just a long day from the jump, man. They couldn't get it going. And we knew it. This is what Harbaugh was waiting for. Like he wanted to preserve Derrick Henry for the playoffs for this, but turns out we didn't need to preserve Derrick Henry. We can just let him be himself when you have somebody like Lamar Jackson out there, and the defense has to focus on them. And this is one of the games where they showed you why. This is what defenses are looking at when they're not fully focused on trying to stop them. Because that second touchdown where he ran for 30 or 40 yards, I don't know how many yards it was.
44.
44 yards. It was a read option, and half of the defense went to go follow Lamar to the outside. And Derrick Henry had the ball. He ran it inside, and the only person there to stop him was Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen is like, not me. Not by myself. No, sir. Right? So that's the Lamar Jackson effect. When you have a quarterback like that, that's a threat to run, it freezes your defense. It only takes a couple of players. It only takes just a one little freeze, one little moment of hesitation, like who has the ball, to give a running back like Derrick Henry enough room to hit the gap and just be gone. What's going on, Rave Kingdom? Says, I'm back, guys. I'm here because I had to cool off from coaches calling the show. Oh, coach is doing a call on the show. Yes. Is it still going on? Make sure you guys are checking that out. All right, that's an amazing after post game show. You can call in and chime in and get your thoughts off. Right. Okay, still going on. Yes. Sip to Tally Films, y'all. All right, make sure you check that out. And when you're done, come back over here and hang out with us for a little bit. Ayo says, what do y'all think about Likely's vicious stiff arm? That was great. Right before the halftime, I was worried that we weren't going to have enough time to score, but they executed it well. He stiff armed him. He got down, ran over back in the huddle real quick, or back to the line. They spiked the ball, and then the next play, Lamar threw a touchdown pass to Justice Hill, and I'm very happy to see Justice Hill back. Very happy to see Justice Hill back. So Man, everything's
I do want
clicking.
to say I'm not thrilled with Isaiah Likely's other catch earlier in the game where he caught the ball and then started waving it around with one hand. But
I didn't like that either.
That's all right though. That
Now,
dude, he has strong hands though.
He was doing that to keep it away from the defender, so the
Yeah.
defender ain't trying to knock it out. But bro,
Yeah.
don't do that. You don't know who's around you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
now it looks like Lamar tweaked his back a little bit. I'm not going to say hurt it. Do you guys think that might hamper him throughout the rest of this playoff run, or do you think he just needs some icy hot or something?
Yeah, he took a knee. He took a knee to the back.
If he was hurt, I think you would know, and he wouldn't have finished the game. But I think so. Just some rest, maybe sit him for a practice or something like that, and he'll be fine. I think.
Yeah, they put like a warming pad around his waist to keep him loose. I think it's gonna be bruised, right? You know, he just took a shot to the back. You know, it doesn't feel good, but it's not something that's going to limit him in any way. You know, I think he'll be perfectly fine.
Well, I would like to see him, slide a little bit more. Lamar's never been somebody to slide. He always likes to dive forward and get extra yards. But, you got to protect yourself. You are the franchise. If you go down, our chances of winning are out the window. Everybody with a brain knows that, except for those who live in Buffalo.
Lack of respect for Josh Johnson there.
No,
most of the time he doesn't take the hits though. Most of the time he gets out of bounds, or he'll go down before you can hit him or whatever. You know, he's typically smart. This game is a little more physical, but it's a physical team. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those games where he's just like, hey, I might have to fight for some extra yards here, right? I can't just go down and get myself up. I have to kind of fight to extend these drives and really take it out. And I think looking back, we needed that for that very first drive, right? That 95-yard, drive, because that took the wind out of them early.
Yeah,
it got the defense tired because we kept running the ball. Lamar established himself running as a runner in that game. Like, hey, I'm going to be running the ball this game. What are you going to do about it? You going to keep looking at Derrick Henry? You're going to look at me. And by the third quarter, they started looking at him, and Derrick Henry is off to the races, right?
Yeah, and it's like we talked about before the game. Physically, it's tough to tackle Derrick Henry. That's what they mean when they say he gets stronger. No, it's just you get tired. He doesn't get stronger later in the game. You get tired. So it's physically tough to do that. It's physically tough to run after Lamar Jackson for four quarters, right? But more important than that, and I think, like you said, this is why it was so important that they ran the ball a lot on that first drive and scored, is it's mentally fatiguing. To see a 250-pound running back coming at you at 22 miles an hour, and then see a guy, obviously not as big in Lamar, but a little bit faster and a whole lot more agile, who can change direction a lot better than Derrick Henry. You got to watch him running around too, and it's even more than the physical aspect of chasing them around, the mental fatigue of, hey, I've been chasing these guys around for 3 quarters and I can't catch them. I can't really get a good shot on them. They're gaining yards every play. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, and just like you guys talked about before, if you allocate all of your resources to stopping the running game, Lamar can just throw it over your head. I mean, I know, we were missing Isaiah Flowers, Zay Flowers, our number one receiver. I'm mixing Isaiah Likely and Zay Flowers together, but we were missing our number one receiver in Zay Flowers.
Thank you, Ray Kingdom.
Thank you.
And Bateman only had, like 25 yards receiving, although he did have a big touchdown.
Yeah.
But we still beat them by 2 touchdowns, even with that, because, it's just hard to defend the Ravens for 4 quarters. There's something that you can't simulate in practice. For one, you're not hitting in practice like that, especially not in January. So a lot of these guys, they got to ice up before the game and get prepared for 60 minutes of tackling a team that ran the ball 50 times. I can't remember the last time I saw an NFL team run the ball 50 times in a game, let alone a playoff game. And to be honest with you, I think it's a formula that we can keep going with. I'm not going to say we're going to rush 50 times every game, but it needs to be up there at 35, 40 per game.
Well, that's why we always talk about the most important thing for any team playing Baltimore is to score early and get ahead of them. Because if you get ahead of Baltimore, that run game is going to go away. they'll do that to themselves. We've seen that on multiple occasions, even this year with Derrick Henry. That if they get behind, Derrick Henry he'll disappear for a while. Then you don't have to deal with him if they're playing from behind. So if you're Buffalo, if you're Kansas City, whoever it is, I don't think you're going to see any deferring to the second half. It's give us the ball. We're going to put up 7 and see if we can get ahead of this Henry and Lamar train that you're going to try and run us over with.
Well, that's what they try to do. And shout out to Ray Kingdom for the super chat. And like we reached our goal, like Dandy says right here. We reached our goal. 10 super chats. We appreciate y'all. The biggest thank you. All right. No, we really appreciate y'all. You don't have to stop at 10 super chats. There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, y'all fancy. I like
it. Yes, appreciate it. We really appreciate you guys' support. And
Yes.
Look, there's 100 people in here. Okay, hit that like button, and if you're new in here, hit that subscribe button. Let's see. I'm in the market for an MVP chain. Got to hit the Buffalo pawn shops. That's funny. Okay. All right. I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say?
It's time to get out of here. Send them over to Hendo.
No.
And you're lined up.
What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Wife just said, "Why are we up?" Kidding all. Hey,
now, do we have a preference for the path moving forward? Because I was in Yolanda and Hendo's chat earlier. They were live streaming the game, so shout out to Ravens Talk with Yolanda. But they were pretty much saying like they felt like Denver could go into Buffalo and beat them, which would give us Houston, a team I'm sure all y'all know we demolished on Christmas. I think it was like 31-2 or something like that. Do we care who we play?
Playoffs last year too.
Oh yeah, and we beat them we beat them down in the playoffs. Although that was I think Stroud's only second playoff game. So
I mean, yeah, Denver could beat Buffalo. I don't think they would, but it's Denver's is a competitive team.
Yeah,
right. They're a competitive.
They're a
team.
tough team.
Buffalo. I mean, look, I just think Buffalo's a better team. I know because they want to spin a narrative about Josh Allen. They'll tell you that Josh Allen doesn't have anything going on in Buffalo. There's some talent over there.
Yeah.
All right. And I think they're a well-coached team.
With as much talk going on back and forth, the path has to be Buffalo. Right? Like you had to go to Buffalo and have Lamar. And I mean, I know you already did it. You beat them 35-10. But you got to have it again. Buffalo is 1-0 against Lamar in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So you go and get that win back, and hopefully shut down that talk for at least the rest of the year. Maybe get Dan Orlovsky fired from his Buffalo Bills side gig, getting paid to tell people Josh Allen should be the MVP. But yeah, I think that's what everybody wants to see. Houston's fine. We all like CJ Stroud. I'm a big fan of DeMeco Ryans. I think they're a very, very talented young team, but they're a team that's beat up. They're a team that's flawed. Their O-line isn't very good, and this is not their year. I don't think anybody believes that the Houston Texans are going on a deep playoff run or have a chance to win a Super Bowl. So I don't let somebody else handle that. Whatever. Let Kansas City send them home. The game we all want to see is Buffalo and Baltimore.
So I remember I was going to say earlier, right? We were talking about the run game, and how do you stop that? I just don't think anybody's really equipped to stop that. Like today's NFL is a passing league, and most teams are built to stop the pass. Even the good run stopping teams aren't really equipped to like commit to stopping the run, because who runs that much, right? Nobody runs that much. And like B said, the way to stop that, or at least to slow it down, is to get up on top early. And even this year, I think because we've played from behind plenty of times, and come back and won. I think because we have Derrick Henry, we're not afraid to run playing from behind. So you have to do more than just get a touchdown on us to really take us out of that. And even if you did, Lamar can pass his way to get us back into the game, and then we go back to running. You know, it's just too much going on our offense. But yeah, like that's what the Steelers try to do today. They try to get the ball first. They try to score early, and our defense has been playing a lot better. Minus those two big drives in the third quarter, the defense pretty much shut them down. Right. I didn't even know this stat until Coach said it. Since week 10, being in Adrian, they've been the number one defense in the league.
Yes, that is true.
You know, so like they've been playing a lot better. So the defense is not giving up the big plays for the most part, and we're running the way we run. It's just very taxing on the defense. No defense is really built to stop that. You know.
Yeah,
So
I think that.
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry to cut you off, Jose. But
No, you're good. You're good.
What I'm saying, and this is just to expound on what you're saying right now. I think that you had to force turnovers against us, and you got to give your offense a short field. Like playing us in a game where there are no turnovers, I don't think anybody in the league is going to beat us if it's 0-0 in a turnover battle.
Yeah.
You know, if we lose the Buffalo or KC or whomever in the playoff run, we're probably going to lose the turnover battle. So ball security is paramount. We did a great job of not turning the ball over, although Sims almost did muff that punt initially. I think that might have been some nerves right there. Good thing that he was able to get back on that ball and secure it. But that would have been big. Imagine if Pittsburgh got the ball on like the 5-yard line, punched in a Najee Harris or Jalen Warren, 5-yard, 7-yard touchdown, and we're down right there. That could have changed the entire complexion of the game. So it's like you said, B, if a team gets up early on us, then we'll see if Todd Monk and if John Harbaugh stick to the game plan and rush the ball 40, 35 times, 50 times like they did today. I think that we will open it up and pass more if we get down, especially if it's a 2-score game. So we've got to get off the fast starts because then that alleviates that concern altogether and we can continue to pound with the run.
Yeah, and we've seen them do it multiple times this year. Not that they get away from the run completely, but Derrick Henry does go away for a while. There's been times in the middle of the game where you're like, man, it's been a quarter and a half since I've seen Derrick Henry running the ball. And that's something I think they have to get away from. They have to kind of get their minds out of that conservative mindset that they're normally in. Where they're like, oh man, it's a 1-score game. I guess no more game plan. I guess we just have this. It's in Lamar's hands. No, like you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that even down 2 scores, depending on the what point in the game it is. But we've seen them do it, and I don't believe they'll break out of that tendency in the playoffs. I think if they go in there to Buffalo next week and Buffalo scores early, I don't think that you're going to see as many carries from Derrick Henry as you should. Especially if Buffalo continues to score, right? It's just a natural thing, running the ball doesn't score as quickly as throwing the ball, and when you're losing, you feel the urgency to catch up. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like they'll get away from the run a little bit, but the way Lamar's playing, they'll catch up. You know what I'm saying? Like when they want to pass the ball, they get Justice Hill in there, and Justice Hill is a weapon. Like Justice Hill, like they're able to switch up more this year from pass to run, and then from run to pass, and then get back to the run game when they need to get back into the run game. It's not like, oh well, we gotta start airing it out now because they can air it out. No, we'll air it out, we'll catch up, and then we'll run the ball again.
Yeah. My biggest concern for the Ravens still is the defense. Because I mean they've played better. Like you said, they've been the number 1 scoring defense since week 10, but they haven't really played anybody since week 10. They haven't played a lot of great offense. So since week 10, they've played Pittsburgh, the Chargers, Philly, the Giants, Pittsburgh again, Houston, and Cleveland.
Yes.
Not exactly a murderer's row
No.
of scorers right there.
Right.
And to be fair, I mean, they're all NFL teams, they're all NFL offenses. Some of them have a lot of talent, and it's tough to stop teams regardless. But it's again not the most intimidating lineup.
Yeah.
Not the season.
Yeah, but
No.
this is the most balanced offense in NFL history. They're the only team that has rushed for 3,000 yards and thrown for 4,000 yards in a
Okay,
season.
but let me ask you this, Adrian. Like, does that really matter? What if I told you could win one more game by not rushing for as many yards and not throwing for as many yards? Isn't that far more valuable?
Well, I don't care how we win, but the numbers are the numbers at the end of the day. So I'm just speaking to that. But all I'm saying is, and this is to further extrapolate the point
What's up,
that you
Killer?
made before, Jose.
Mm.
Um, the Ravens are more equipped to win any style of football game now. In the past, the MO was, you get up on them and they're not going to be able to come back. They don't play well from behind. If it was the Ravens at first, and then they, put it all on Lamar, and they said Lamar can't win a game when he's down 10 points. He doesn't get it done. And then, it kind of slayed that demon. And now they moved the goalpost to, they can't get it done in the playoffs. And then also it'll be they can't get it done against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They're 1-5 against the Chiefs all time. They lost to the Chiefs at home in the AFC Championship game. Whatever it is, they're going to move the goalposts to say that the Ravens can't get it done. But they have everything that they need as long as they play their style of game. But the best thing about that is they don't have one style. If they have to throw for 300 yards, Brodny, I think that they can do that. They got to run for 250 or 300. I think they can do that. But the defense, they don't necessarily have to be great, even though they've been number one in the league since week 10. They just got to be good enough. They got to get timely stops like the sack that Owe had in the fourth quarter. That's the type of stop that you need. He hadn't been doing anything all game up until that point, but
Yeah.
he got it done when it mattered. And our Darius Washington, he's got to do what he does in big moments of the game. Kyle Hamilton, he's got to be who he is. Roquan, I feel like Roquan didn't do much tonight. I didn't see him do a whole lot, but then again, he didn't need to. We just got to step up in the big moments, and I think we have everything we need on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball to do so.
Yes, Kenneth Scott says you can only play what's on the schedule. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you have to draw any conclusions based off of who you played in that stretch, is what I'm saying. You if you play bad offenses and then you stop them from scoring, great. That doesn't really move me if you go and then play a good offense and give up a bunch of points. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see moving forward. Maybe they fixed it, and it just happened to happen at that point in the schedule. We'll certainly see next week.
Yeah. The third quarter was concerning to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a combination of it looked like some miscommunication. It looked like they took their foot off the pedal a little bit because they were up big, and they're like, well, what are they gonna do, right? But you have a big time playmaker in George Pickens, and he showed you what he can do. Um, Brandon Stevens got beat bad on one. Nate Wiggins and Darius Washington got beat on the second one. I mean, Darius Washington just straight up whipped on a tackle, right, and let George Pickens walk in for a touchdown. Those are things that you can't lose focus, right? I understand. We're up big, and you're thinking it's Russ, right? But you gotta be locked in for 4 quarters. Now they got it back. They got themselves back together in the fourth quarter, and they didn't allow any more points. But yeah, from here on out, it's better quarterbacks. It's better quarterbacks. Even if we end up playing, Houston. I mean, look, CJ Stroud hasn't been playing great, but I think he's better than Russ Wilson at this
Yeah,
point.
I mean, you're talking about the Steelers, a team that's at 5 straight games of scoring 17 or fewer points.
Yeah,
It's not great. One of those games was against Cincinnati, right? They lost 19-17. They played Cincinnati a few weeks before this little stretch started, and it was a 44-38 game. Russ threw 414 yards. Like what's happened to Pittsburgh in the meantime, right? So that's why I don't want to look at Pittsburgh and be like, oh man, they shut them down. They're good. It's
right.
not.
I mean, it's good. It's good how they played.
Mhm.
Build off of that. But they need to go, go right back to the lab, look at the tape, and say, all right, we got, this is where we got to clean up right here.
Yeah, and you want to put a team away when you had an opportunity, and I feel like the Ravens missed the opportunity to go for it on that 4th and 1, because if they score a touchdown on that drive, I believe we go up 28-0, and I think Pittsburgh on the ensuing drive went 95 yards and scored the first touchdown, and they came back and scored another touchdown. So that's something that the Ravens need to pay close attention to. When you have your foot on the neck of your opponent, you got to crush them and you got to end the game. Because going up 28-0, maybe we get the opportunity to, sit Lamar out and, bring in our guy that's played for 100 teams. You know what I'm saying? Josh Johnson. Maybe we get the opportunity to put Josh Johnson and rest Lamar and rest Derrick Henry, but we had to play 4 quarters because Pittsburgh was able to cut that lead to 14 points. So that's just something I want us to keep an eye on. But it's a good problem to have, being up, 3 touchdowns and trying to hold on to the lead as opposed to being down 2 or 3 touchdowns and trying to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Noah? He says everyone has to do their job to get us where we want to be. Facts.
What's up, Noah?
Yeah. All right. We've hit the hour mark. Okay. Killer says we missed Zay. Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't miss him this game. We won. But, I mean, you could tell there's, the offense moves a little differently when he's not there. Or the pass game moves a little differently. But
Yeah.
I like the way that everybody executed. Even Nelson Aguilar had a good catch. Everybody did what they needed to do for the most part on the offensive side of the ball. And to me, that's more important when you're in the playoffs, right? Like everybody needs to execute. The false starts, they got to clean that up. Ryan Stanley had 2, Rosengarten had 1, but that's big. If everybody's doing their jobs, not making those mistakes, not turning the ball over, then you have Lamar and Derrick Henry to break for those big plays. You know what I mean? Like just play discipline football. That's all you gotta do. Say what you want, but nobody throws a prettier interception than Justin Herbert. He kind of does. Yeah.
But the thing that concerns me and why I think they do need Zay back, like this Steelers team, I think they ran over them. They were one of the best run defenses in the league, but this is a team that I think is quit. And you didn't see the best from Pittsburgh tonight. I don't think you're going to go into Buffalo, and I mean I would be shocked if you went into Buffalo and ran for 300 yards. I don't think it's going to happen, right? So I don't think that you can rely solely. I mean, I know that it's the foundation of the offense, but I don't think you can rely solely on the Henry and Lamar game. They're going to have to be able to move the ball effectively, passing it, and in order to do that against a better team, I think they're going to need Zay back. But it sounded like he was close this week, so I would imagine he'll be ready to go against Buffalo, assuming it's Buffalo.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the Ravens. I mean, like no, I don't think they're going to rely just on running the ball. They want to run the ball, right? If you can't stop it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think they understand they can pass the ball. Buffalo understands we can pass the ball if we need to pass the ball, and I think what they want you to do is to believe. I think what they want teams to believe that they're going to run the ball with Derrick Henry, and they want you to cheat up, right? They want you to be fully committed to trying to stop Derrick Henry, and Lamar can do whatever he wants to do with the ball, right? Because the focus isn't stacking the box to stop Lamar from running. The focus is to stack the box to stop Derrick Henry from running. And they showed you tonight, right? All right, we're going to do a read option, and if you're just going to try to tackle Derrick Henry, then I'll skip for a first down. Okay, I can do that all day. And then, I want to pass the ball. I'll pass the ball to a wide open Rashad Bateman in the back of the end zone because you're afraid that I'm going to run the ball. Like I can do whatever I want back there if you think all we're going to do is run the ball.
Yeah.
I think that's really the game plan.
Yeah, but the most demoralizing thing is to know what a team is about to do and still not have the ability to stop it. So you can put 8, 9 guys in the box and think you're going to stop Derrick Henry, and he still might run 45 yards and stiff arm you into the end zone. And that's something that the Ravens still have the ability to do. Getting too cute sometimes is something that I see Monk can do a little bit too often for my liking. I don't care if they know what you're about to do. Do it anyway. It's 4th and 1. Make them stop you. Make them stop your best weapon, which is Lamar. Your second best weapon, which is DH. Well, that's interchangeable depending on time, score, or who has a hot hand. Those are the guys that are the foundation of the offense, like you said earlier, B. And that's who defenses are game planning to try to slow down at the very least. You're not going to stop either one of those guys unless they just have an off game or one of them gets injured. And if you do cheat up and you allocate too many people to stop the rushing game, then we should be able to throw the ball down the field. And Lamar's proven time and time again this season that he can get guys open down the field. He's hit Bateman a bunch of times down the field. He's hit Zay when Zay was in there. He's hit guys down the field because you're going to have one-on-one coverage more often than not because you can't drop a safety deep against this rushing attack. And I think that gives Lamar an advantage that 90% of the quarterbacks, if not 100% of the quarterbacks in the league, don't have. The only one who might have a similar advantage is Jalen Hurts when he's running the ball well and Saquon's running the ball well, and they got AJ Brown on the outside and they got Devontae Smith on the outside. That's a lot to deal with on that offense also. But I feel like the Ravens are the best offense in the league. I don't care that Detroit scored more points this year. We have the best offense in the NFL. We have the most balanced team in the NFL. And the only thing that can stop us is Todd Monken and John Harbaugh. Well, I should flip those around. John Harbaugh first, Todd Monken second.
Ken Scott said he didn't see Keaton Mitchell out there tonight. Yeah, I don't think he got I'm not sure if he got any snaps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think he got a snap.
Well, we saw Justice Hill out there. I mean, he looked excellent. We want to get out of here, but I wanted to say who was I was going to ask who was that Steeler player that asked for an autograph from Lamar Jackson at the end of the game? Did you see that? He brought a 8 jersey out there, and Lamar autographed it for him. He wrote a lot on there.
Was this on the camera?
Yeah, it was after the game. They both knelt down. He's just like, yo, sign this. So he signed it. I want to know who it was because
he's on kickoff return tonight.
Huh? Oh, he was on kickoff return. Oh, okay.
Did he say it was Joey Porter?
Oh, it was Joey Porter. Okay.
Oh,
now,
Joey Porter Jr.
I don't have a problem with it. These guys are, they're friends. They know each other. But in a Ravens Steelers rivalry, okay, Steelers fans, especially the old school Steelers fans, like I couldn't imagine. I know it's a different time, but I couldn't imagine Terrell Suggs asking for Ben Roethlisberger's autograph after the game, after they beat us down. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like I cannot see that happening. And to see him ask for an autograph right there on the field after they got the brakes beaten off of them. I mean, like I said, it's a different time. I don't think it's a big deal, but I feel like there's going to be one of the talking points tomorrow in Steelers country. Along with Patrick Queen quitting on that Derrick Henry run.
No, I just think it's understood that this ain't our father's Steelers, our father's Ravens. Like we living in a different era, man. These guys doing TikToks together, and they hanging out after the game. Back in the day, Big Ben wasn't chilling with Terrell Suggs. You know what I mean? Like they didn't hang out, they didn't hit each other up on Skype or Uvu or whatever was out back then. Those guys had a professional respect for each other, but it wasn't all of this brotherhood between rivals. Nowadays, these guys in the offseason vacation together, their families know each other, and they're cool. And you would have never seen Joey Porter Sr. ask for Joe Flacco's autograph after getting beat down in a playoff game. But this is a different day and age, like you said, Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is different because, like, same with your boy Michael Jordan hanging out with Charles Barkley and them. Like, it's soft. That's what it is. Right?
Antonio's here. What's up, Antonio? We was just about to get out of here, man. He says, "What up, peeps? I'm gonna be talking big-ish all week. Go Ravens!" Oh yes, indeed. You guys go subscribe to the Antonio Clark art. Okay, there's still 75 people in here. All right, go over there, subscribe to Antonio Clark art, man. He's a dope artist. He loves drawing a lot of different like comic book characters and whatnot. He loves talking Marvel, DC, all those things, man. Go check out his channel. Get his subscribers up. He'll drop some more dope videos for you. All right. It's a good friend of mine. I've known him since high school. Okay.
Julian says it wasn't Joey Porter Jr. It was his cousin. That's why Lamar wrote a lot.
Yeah. So. Does his cousin play for the Steelers?
I don't know. I mean, like they
the jersey was for his cousin.
Oh, he said
that's well, no, I think he said the player was Lamar's cousin, and that's why he was writing a lot.
Okay.
Man,
Still.
They could have done that back at the hotel or something, man. Like
right.
Like not on camera.
I listen. No offense, they probably don't care what anybody thinks. Like,
oh no,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it on the field, and then I'm gonna leave and do whatever I'm doing.
Even if it was Joey Porter, Joey Porter don't care what anybody thinks.
No.
I'm just telling you what.
Nor should they.
With the Steeler podcast, that's what they're gonna be talking about tonight and tomorrow. Okay.
Like, I don't care how they feel about each other. I don't care if they're best friends, as long as you go out and you can compete. Because like listen, The Rock and Stone Cold didn't hate each other, but they pretended to. It's fine.
Yeah, they ain't show you any love. They ain't show no love on camera though.
I don't care though.
Derrick Henry said that he's friends with Minka Fitzpatrick. He said, "Hey, that's my boy." He's like, but on the field, it's all business.
Yeah.
You couldn't talk about that stiff arm that they was cool. You know what I mean?
I just know, if we're friends.
What's up, thug boss? I was gonna just ignore you, but like you keep talking about the Ravens organization, and you're not that far removed from going 0-16, bro. And I didn't want to bring that up, but it's not like I can bring up your championships. So probably shut the hell up.
There you go. All right, You got to pay the troll. Okay, hit up the Cash App, hit up the Super Chat. You got to pay the troll. He said they recognize the greatness of their opportunity when they can. Yeah. So
it's a little different when you're Robbie Anderson and you're just like draped over his shoulders, like bring me to Baltimore, bro. Like you won the contract in New York, Robert.
Yeah, Robbie loved Lamar Jackson. He was hugging. I love you, man. I love you. There was like 5 Jets players lined up after that game to get autographs from that man.
Y'all need a receiver.
Yeah, but like our generation is different. Like I'm old school. Like I saw Jackson Holiday just chilling, like on my lunch break one day. I can't even ask him for a picture, bro. You know what I mean? I'm just a fan, but it's just like, like I'm not that dude. I'm not taking pictures with you guys. I'm not, asking for your autographs, but that's for us, that 80s babies, 70s babies, we're a little bit different than those who came up in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah. All right. We're going to end it here. All right. It's 40 past midnight. It's almost 1 o'clock. All right. Look, we'll be back on Wednesday. Okay. We're going to put out some more content. We'll talk about, I don't know. We're either going to be playing Buffalo or Houston, and according to Buffalo fans, this game isn't a given, right? Because if the only person that you have on team is the quarterback, that's what you all say, he's the only person, then this isn't a gimme game.
Because you know what happened in Baltimore when it was all Lamar? They lost.
Yeah. So we're gonna find out if it's all Josh Allen. I mean, I guess he could do it for the first round. He could put the team on his back for the first round, right?
Against Bo Nix. Bo Nix, who had more passing touchdowns than Josh Allen. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
No.
didn't Aaron Rodgers have as many passing TDs as your boy Josh Allen?
I believe he did.
I think they had 28. But you can't use the stats because Josh Allen had way better stats than Lamar last year, and he didn't win MVP. So
Yeah. Bummer. Anyway, Adrian, let the people know where they can find you, man.
yeah, y'all hit me up on all social media at the Sunglass Kid, DASUNGLASSKID. Said it before, saying it again. Ravens Super Bowl victory. We get these 12 years apart, 28-year-old quarterbacks. That's exactly what we got here. Let's go, Flock Nation.
All right, there you go. All right. Danny says that was his cousin. I thought the jersey said 24, but the jersey was 42. Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. I feel like your cousin can get a autograph anytime. Right?
Maybe they ain't that close.
Yeah,
But I feel like it was Joey Porter. Danny don't make mistakes. I did want to, before we get out of here, I did want to also say a big shout out to the Defense Win Championships crowd. Tough one today with the number one defense going down in the first round, but you'll be back next year or not. We'll see.
Oh, also, it's technically not his birthday anymore, but happy birthday to our friend Hendo. All right, from the Road Pod, turned the big 5-0. Okay,
Damn.
Happy birthday! Yes. Doesn't look a day over 46. Okay. Make sure y'all go to his channel, send him some birthday love. Hit him up on social media at RougPod, ROUGPOD. All right. Tell him happy birthday. Okay. Good friend of the show, good friend of ours in real life. All right. And we appreciate, everything he's done to, help us grow. All right.
Yes.
So go over there and help his channel grow as well. All right. We appreciate you. All right. We are out of here. B, are you ready? See, Killer said he thought he was in his early 30s or early 40s.
Nah, he's been rolling around
late
for half
30s.
a century.
He said you thought late 30s, early 40s.
Half a century, bro.
Yeah, he does look good for his age. He stays in shape. He stays in shape.
That black don't crack, y'all.
Well, that's because he's vegan.
That's what he would tell you, because he's vegan. Okay, that's why he's always angry too. All right, V is ready. We are out of here. Have a great night. There's more football tomorrow. All right, so go watch those games, and we will see you on Wednesday. Peace.